Hey, this is Mad Movie Mark, the Mad Movie Mark Movie Review. Thank you for joining me as I review the 1930 silent Soviet drama Earth. Hey, well, it can't be that bad, right? I hope this is at least a little bit enjoyable. If this is your first time joining me, I'm reviewing every movie in this book, the 1001 Movies You Must See Before You Die. I think this one might be a short review. I don't have a whole lot to say about Earth. It is a Soviet movie, but it was directed by a Ukrainian director. It is considered to be one of the most important and influential works in Soviet cinema. It emphasizes editing as the primary tool of cinematic expression. It uses stunning imagery of the natural world. It expressed poetic imagery rather than traditional narrative structure, and it is widely studied in film school for its visual landscapes and editing style. I didn't go to film school. I didn't take any film school classes. I'm just a regular person who loves movies and thought that this would be a fun list to do, so I never studied this movie. Now, this is about collectivization. I think that's how you say it. I probably pronouncing that incorrectly, and I'm sorry, which is basically integrating land holdings and labor into nominally, collectively controlled, and openly or directly state-controlled farms. Basically, Stalin at the time wanted to control the farms that these people owned, and the people were not too happy about it. And this movie is about a group of people who kind of rise up and try to fight against this collectivization. I believe that's what it's called. Like I said, I might be pronouncing that incorrectly. So in this movie, there's a gentleman who passes away in the beginning. It's kind of comical. I don't know if it's supposed to be, but he basically says he's dying, and his friends all like, oh, well, can you hurry up and die already if you're going to? And the guys are like, okay, I'll try to die as fast as I can. I'll give you updates whenever possible. And his friends are like, well, when you die, let me know what happens on the other side, like if you go to heaven or hell, or you go, and what it looks like. The guy's like, okay, well, that's possible. I'll go ahead and do it. And then he dies. And then his son, I believe it's his son, and the people in this town get their first tractor. It's like their own tractor. They own it, and now they can plow their own fields, and they can work on their own farms. And they're very happy about this, and they're very excited. In fact, one guy starts like dancing in the streets at night, and as he's dancing in the streets, he is gunned down. And then the rest of the movie is basically them trying to figure out who gunned him down and having the funeral. At the funeral, there is a fight between atheist and religious people. And from what I could tell, that's the entire movie. I will say, I don't know if I understood it entirely, what the plot was here. It doesn't spoon feed you anything. You kind of have to figure stuff out on your own, which is fine. Like I don't have to be spoon fed everything, I feel like, but it also sometimes makes it difficult, especially in silent movies. When this movie, the acting is what drives this movie. It's got really great acting, people who use really great expressions when they're trying to get their emotions on screen, but you really have to be able to read that and understand what's going on when a silent film doesn't spoon feed you everything. And this one, I felt like it was kind of difficult to follow a little bit. I honestly thought, I don't know if this is right, probably not, because I did a little research and I couldn't find where this is true anywhere, but the guy who was dancing in the street, I thought that like it was the government that shot him because they were upset that these people own their own tractors and were trying to plow their own fields, but I think that was wrong. But that's like the assumption that I had. It's the only thing that made sense to me while I was watching it, but at the end of the movie, they don't really mention that, so I don't think that's what happened, but I'm still a little confused about it, what exactly went on in this movie. I will say, though, that it is beautiful. The cinematography is absolutely amazing. This movie was originally destroyed at one point, and it was completely lost, and then somehow it was found, and they remastered it, and they came out with all new music, and the music is really good. Actually fantastic. The music in this movie is phenomenal. I kind of wonder what the original score would have been like, but it doesn't matter because the editing and the music are paced really well. It really makes adds to the urgency of this film, and I thought they did a really good job. This also has very heartfelt storytelling, and it's moving in a way. I wouldn't say that I was incredibly emotional by it, but I did feel for these people when they got their own tractor and how happy and excited they were, and how utterly devastated they were when one of their people were shot and killed. You really feel that emotion. You really feel like they're trying to rise up against the system type of thing. I thought they did a really good job. I like this more than a few other like Russian movies that I've seen, like Strike. I don't know if it's as good as Battleship Potemkin. Probably not, because Battleship Potemkin has just more iconic imagery in it than this does. Even though this has great cinematography, I would say that it's not as lasting. It won't stick with you as much as Battleship Potemkin did, but it's better than something like Strike. Storms Over Asia, I believe, was another movie that I watched. It's better than that as well. I'm not usually, I give these I don't want to say Russian because it's Ukrainian, but I give these movies from the Russian/Ukrainian area usually bad reviews, especially these older ones, because a lot of them are propaganda and they just don't hold up, and I'm just not excited by them, and they're just kind of boring, and I don't understand the political views going on at the time. And for a lot of these, you really have to at least know a little bit politically about what's going on. I had to do some research as to what collectivization even was, because I had no idea. And that kind of hurts it for me a little bit. I want to go into a movie not having to research an entire era of Soviet history to understand what the movie is, which is why I don't usually do well with these type of movies. But I would say the cinematography in this movie is so good. The imagery is so well done. The storytelling is pretty decent. The acting is really good, that it holds up on its own anyway. Even if I have to do the research, I still think it was pretty decent. Not the best movie ever, not the best Russian/Ukrainian movie I've ever seen, but still really good. I give it an 8 out of 10. Is it something that you absolutely have to see before you die? I would say no, it's not. You could live without seeing this movie, especially if you don't care about the history of this area and you don't like silent films. But it's good enough. I still liked it. It's better than a lot of other movies that I've seen on this list so far. So an 8 out of 10. I hope you join me next time when I review what I think is a better movie than this one. That is called Freedom for Us. Thank you. Have a great day.